New technology, huh? I told you you'd be disappointed. This is Jeff Kohler, aka the Option Addict, from optionaddict.blogspot.com. Looking to get a jump on this week's weekly watch list, and what better opportunity than to do it at 11 o'clock at night. You'll notice that my chart here, I'm looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and good move today. We held on to our gains in the market, which is very important. Merger and acquisition activity still hot in the market. That's what's pushing prices higher. So I look for the market to at least retest the highs up at about 13,700 or so. I think that's very, very feasible. But let's get a jump on this week's price patterns. For starters, we're going to start with Apple Computers, and you'll notice it has kind of a striking correlation to the Dow Jones. And if I look recently, I'm just going to zoom in on this little symmetrical triangle slash pennant, and you'll notice that it's right on target. Now, I know the story is very, very played out. The iPhone's not as great as what everyone was anticipating. And to top it all off, you got really high implied volatility. So if you're looking to be a buyer here, I don't know. I'm not really excited about it moving to the upside, but I think it could pull back to the downside very easily. The problem is trying to decide how you're going to do that with high volatility. Maybe you might want to try a credit-based strategy, which means you're able to cap your risk there to an extent anyway. But that's something I'm looking at. I'm looking for hopefully a break to the downside. I think the stock can afford to shave off a few percentage points. Next, I'm going to look at CHD. This is probably a repeat from last week, but you'll notice that my descending triangle is still there. The stock at about 47, or excuse me, yeah, 48.49, which is where support is. I'd like to see a break below that to have this stock move, a few points lower. And volatility very, very low. It's not a very volatile stock to begin with. So I'm looking for a continuation of this newly formed downtrend. Next, I've got CSH, Cash America. And it's got a level of support at about 37 to deal with. And the stock right here, if I zoom in recently, it's formed a descending triangle in this trend. It's got some, relatively high volatility. That's kind of what I'd call medium, though, if you look at the range. But this stock's telling me it wants to move about 3 points plus to the downside if it breaks through 39. The only thing I'd be worried about, though, is that next level of support at 38. You're going to have to deal with that. So, but a little descending triangle starting to form here in Cash America. Next, I've got Eaton Vance. We're getting all the low volatility stocks out of the way today. And if I zoom on this in the short term, there it is, clear as day. So the bottom of this triangle starts at about 88 and the top at about 94. So I'm looking at about a 6.5 point movement on this one if it breaks to the upside. Now, today might actually be that day. High volatility, I know I'm not going to get that question on that. But the nice thing is high volatility for this stock is nothing compared to any other stock. So I'd still be an option buyer here. Next, I'm going to look at COH, which is Coach. I think that's a repeat from last week. Head and Shoulders still looking really good. I really want to see a break of $45, $46 per share. If I get a good break below support, I'm looking for this puppy to retrace, hopefully furiously over the next 5 months or so. And we're talking about from the tune of about I'd say 8 points, 9 points. So watch for that stock to break to the downside. Also, Frontline. If you're looking at this one, this shape is kind of weird, but the stock's just gone parabolic recently. I'm looking for a reason to trade it, and a break above resistance at 46 is going to be that for this little ascending triangle. Next, I've got Boosie. For those of you that listen to the market cast, I know there's only a few of you out there, but we talked about a nice triangle forming here. And the stock, only about a 5 point move though. But any continuation of this trend, it's a hot stock. Volatility, look at that, pretty low, which means a good buying opportunity. I don't think this is bad. I'm looking for the stock to hopefully, using that price target as a minimum, let's just put it that way. Next, PSYS, Psychiatric Solutions. And if you look at this drop, stock had from about 39 down to about $34 per share. And it's rallying back up. You have kind of a longer term bear flag, and most of my bear flags are weeks. So if I find one that takes a month, that's long term. But I'm looking for a break of support, which happens to be at about 36. Confirm that with some volume. Volatility is low. It's a put candidate waiting to be plucked. I've also got AYI on my radar this week. Acuity Brands. There it's already drawn for us. Amazing. Ascending triangle. About a 5 point move on this stock. When it breaks to the upside, volatility is to the mid to upper range. So options might be expensive, but then again, expensive options for this stock are nothing compared to anything else. So I wouldn't be too worried about that here. Next, TRID. Trident Microsystems. Now, here's what I'm talking about. This stock, even though it shows that low historical volatility is 0.50, you're going to notice that premium in those options, especially the at the monies. So stay away from those. But you notice if I zoom in here, got a bear flag brewing in this stock, and one that should make up about a 2-point move in the underlying, which is 10%. Which, maybe I just short the stock. Maybe I don't even bother with the options. If the pricing is too far out of whack, and it looks like it is, maybe just short the stock. Next, I've got Express Scripts. Love the stock. It's an amazing trending stock, and been looking for a reason to get long recently, and I think we might have found it. If we zoom in, the stock's been consolidating at about 50 bucks a share. It's right at resistance today. It's screamed right up to that, just dying to break out. This here, though, only represents a 3-point move. Treat that as a minimum. Look at the stock's trend. It goes nuts. Get into it. If it breaks above 51 here with some good volume, I got to take it down. If volatility is high, again, 0.35, that doesn't make those premiums too expensive, but I'm definitely not going to want to trade a spread here when I know the stock's going to start flying. So I'm looking to get long some ESRX on the break. Also, MFC, here's another boring stock if you're looking for the old, 2 to 3 point move in a $30 stock. Volatility is just blah. There's a trade right there. Give you about 10%. Last on the list, let's finish up with BRLI, and then I'm going to bed. There it is, ascending triangle. And to the tune of about 2 to 3 points. And look at the options. Look at the implied volatility. It's at the bottom. It's a great buying opportunity. Huge pattern here. I love the trade, to tell you the truth. Maybe it doesn't work out, but I still like the setup. Waiting for a better break here. If I switch over my chart settings to a, let's go to a line chart, you'll see that nothing has really definitely broken resistance yet. You'll see that all those closing prices are still right around 27.50. Wait for the break and wait for the volume. Well, folks, that's what I got for this week. You notice the watch list is a little bit smaller, and that's hopefully so I don't talk nearly as fast. If you guys have any questions, please come back and find me at optionaddict.blogspot.com, and hopefully you guys have a good week in the market. Take care. Bye-bye.